Man United has set clear the time they want to see Mbeumo at Old Trafford. I'll tell you exactly when. Meanwhile, Man United have set a £70 million price tag for Alejandro Garnacho, yet they are contemplating a swap deal involving a 27-year-old mediocre player from Chelsea. What exactly is going on with this club? Like, share, and subscribe. My name is Webb. Let's get into it now, guys. Of course, you certainly want to know about the progress of Mbeumo after Man United placed in bid number 2 of just over £60 million, and Brentford were still, of course, insisting on how they feel Mbeumo is a better player than Cunha. Mbeumo has played 18 months more than Cunha in the Premier League. He has scored 5 goals more than Cunha last season. So why would you pay 62.5 for Cunha and want to pay 50 or 55 for Mbeumo? That's exactly the bargaining chip that Brentford have been using. Honestly, to be fair, it's a smart one. But what's smarter? There's nothing smarter in life than understanding this thing called the internet, because the way it's taking over the world is shocking. By the way, it's insane. If you don't pay attention, pause, breathe, and give attention, pay close attention to how the internet has impacted on the world, and then imagine how much more it has impacted on business, on income, on wealth, on earning. It's crazy. Come and understand how the internet pays. And trust you me, you won't regret it. I need you for only 1 hour. But I just need one other thing. Guys, subscribe and like our videos. When you like our videos, they keep being recommended to other people to view them. And trust you me, bigger is better. When we grow, we are better. We can do bigger and mightier things, because that's the plan. We don't plan to stay the same forever. No, we progress, don't we? So the latest, of course, that is coming through is that Man United want to see Mbeumo in before the preseason starts. That is on the 7th of July. That's next month. That is about 2 weeks away, roughly 2 weeks away. So in 2 weeks, Mbeumo must be a Man United player. Come rain, come shine. By hook or crook, United want to pull it through. Now, they have made proper amends. They have put in bid number 2 of over £60 million, and they feel Brentford, after the talks they had, should be able now to make a decision and give Man United the green light to seal their player. Now, we are waiting for that. I have no reservations or disquiets about Mbeumo and his skill. There are people who will be feeling, not quite sure, but the boy has played in the Premier League for seasons. He has got a lot of experience in the Premier League, consistently looking better. Certainly, why would he fail at Man United? Then it would mean the problem at Man United is bigger than all players we've signed. But leaving Mbeumo aside, there is a new interesting deal that is being tabled. I told you yesterday of Sancho and swap deal involving Dusan Vlahovic, which I thought, and Douglas Luiz, which I thought was insane. It was amazing. Even if Juventus just offered Dusan Vlahovic alone without Douglas Luiz, beautiful deal it would be. But now it emerges that Man United, since January, you remember those reports were there of Nkunku to joining Man United, and United thought about it. They contemplated it, but I think they thought, after thinking, they thought, let's wait and give it time. Don't bring in only one player in Jan, and let's wait for the summer so that we make sober, well-informed decisions. Now, according to what we get, Christopher Nkunku is wanted by Man United in a swap deal involving Alejandro Garnacho, who is certainly not going to be going back to United. And we've seen justifiably why Amorim made the decision, because of his behavior and lack of manners. But this comes at a time when it has just been, again, stated that Man United value Garnacho at about £70 million. That's the price tag they have labeled on him. They have tagged on him. Now, if you think about it, if United value Garnacho at 70 million quid, and they're the same club saying they can use a swap deal involving Christopher Nkunku, does that mean Nkunku is also valued at 70 million quid? Well, Chelsea are known for that. They overprice their players, at least especially when they're selling to Man United. You know what happened with Mount, who made it clear, by the way. Mount made it clear he's not moving a muscle. He's not leaving Man United. Certainly, I think he has spoken to the boss to Amorim, and he wants him. He has clearly been saying this all the time. But here's the thing: if you value Sancho at Garnacho at 70 million pounds, and you're the one thinking of a swap deal involving a 27-year-old player who, in 27 games last season in the Premier League, scored 3 goals and assisted 2. This is a forward. Meanwhile, unless that swap deal will involve some bit of more cash added to Man United, I honestly feel it doesn't give. It doesn't match. It doesn't balance. It's not it. That's honestly what I feel. I mean, you're talking of a 20-year-old player, and I understand that Man United wants to get rid of Garnacho. But if you're saying Garnacho is valued at 70 million, I don't think Nkunku is worth 70 million pounds. If you're sober, in Chelsea's eyes, they can try to make it feel like so. But for me, a 27-year-old player who is not even established himself in the national team, I think is not worth 70 million. So for me, Nkunku should be worth tops 40 million. Tops. So if Man United want that swap deal, they should demand for cash. Player plus cash, they take Garnacho. If not, take cash of 50 million, if that's what, because that's share profit, and use it in your own way to buy whichever players you want. Take 50 million for Garnacho from whichever club willing to pay that. But unless Garnacho himself, who is saying he prefers it to stay in the Premier League, is pushing to join Chelsea, and maybe somehow you just have to make a deal happen, because the truth is Garnacho is not going to be staying at Man United. So unless push comes to shove and you just have to lose the player somehow to a Premier League opponent because he's still contracted and he's saying, I'm not leaving the Premier League, seal it with a Premier League club. But still, 7-year difference between the two players. One is at the start of their career, the other is at what should be their prime. Doesn't feel right, honestly. It doesn't augur well with me, if I'm being honest. So, what then should Man United do? That's the question. So, but that's where we are. There is no official contact now again, but there was contact in January, and even Fabrizio confirmed this. There was contact between United and Chelsea over Nkunku, but right now they haven't made it official, but it could happen. So that's why I'm bringing this story that, yes, it's being mooted, but does it make sense? And what's funny is that it's Man United that seems to be pushing this, because I think they know Chelsea are interested in a wing on the left, and they would use a player like Garnacho. And Chelsea themselves have been interested in Garnacho before. So I think that swap deal should involve cash into the accounts of Man United, not the other way. But a direct swap deal wouldn't feel, I think, right, in all fairness. But that's what's happening. Deals are being discussed. Meanwhile, the scouting team of Man United has been trimmed. That's the global scouting team. Has been trimmed from 100 to 10, headed by Christopher Vivo. Imagine from 100 scouts to 10. From 100 to 10. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? 100 to 10. That shows you that you can do things with fewer people, but just because it was Man United and these incompetent, uncaring Glazers, guys were just wasting money on people who were bringing them all the wrong players. Let's hope the 10 can actually now show us that things can be better. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me catch you later, fam. Come learn and earn.